Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year's from invitation to a conversation. This is my first podcast for the new year, and I hope everyone had a blessed new year. All right, and a happy holiday. My guest today is Mr. Abraham Joseph Jr. Good morning, Mr. Joseph. How
Good,
you doing?
good morning, Miss Bailey. I'm doing great and Happy New
Good.
Year.
Yes. Did you have a good New Year's?
I did. I really did.
It's over with, isn't it?
It's over. That is Christmas. Yeah,
It's a beautiful day out. So you have a very impressive resume. You've been a busy man for 35 years working around the armed services, but did not join the military. So I would like you to tell us about your impressive career and how you got started. So first, tell everyone who is Mr. Joseph and where were you born and raised?
Okay. Abe Joseph is. I was born here in Camden County, Kingsland, Georgia. I'm a person, even as a small child, I've been a visionary. I was educated here in the local school system, and then, of course, attended Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia, where I received a bachelor's in accounting. From there, I worked a lot of different jobs. If you, I sold insurance. I ran a self-service station there.
Mm-hmm.
At night manager, I was production supervisor at a Krispy Kreme donut. So, and then I finally got my career job that I wanted as a tax auditor with the Georgia Department of Revenue in Columbus, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So from that's when I started my business and basically working with a lot of small businesses. And I was a tax collector and a tax auditor. So and saw a lot of businesses who were basically having issues. And so I reached out and started helping those and started my business on the side.
So before we get into all the businesses you held, and you said you were visionary, how early? What was your first career choice?
Okay, my first career, I was probably about 11 years old, and I had a lawn care business. I would go around and cut people's grass. I had a set of clients every week. So that was my first business then.
Okay.
But I always wanted to be out, have my own business.
Entrepreneur.
And that's basically in my blood because my great grandfather, Jacob Joseph, who was basically a slave, bought his freedom and moved here, and he started his business in farming and different other things here.
Okay.
My grandfather's, his son, Joe Joseph, and my mother's father, Hammond Roberts, all those were entrepreneurs. So that entrepreneur
it's in your bloodline.
It's in my bloodline.
Yeah. So when did you decide to take up accounting and finance for a career choice? And why did you decide? Because I think that there's always something in a person's childhood environment that caused them to choose the career that they did.
But growing up as a kid, we used to play a lot of do a lot of games, and I always have a business. So I used to cut out. I remember I used to cut out in the paper money. So I always want to be in charge of the money. And I did that. But honestly speaking, when I was in high school, I'm a history buff. So my goal, I really wanted to be a history teacher and a football coach. So
you still can, can't you?
Yeah,
both of them. Not the coach, but the history teacher.
Yeah, and then I was torn between an engineer, and so somebody said, "Well, you'll be in school all your life." So I went to the council and looked at what were jobs that were being demanded for the next 20 years. Accounting was one of those. So, and because I liked that and a little finance, so I went into accounting, and went to my college in Morris Brown, Atlanta. We had a very good business department. So that's where it started all there. And that career, the degree in accounting, we actually put you on a lot of different areas. Management, you can do auditing, you can do a whole lot of things there.
I know my dad used to always tell us when we were younger, always choose a career that the world will always have.
Exactly.
And accounting and finance would be one of them.
Right.
So, for people who don't know about the particular careers you have, can you just give us a brief description of what you did
Okay.
and how it operated? So, let's first start with tax audit.
Yeah. And I briefly touched on that. I was a tax auditor for 8
Mhm,
years with the
mhm.
Georgia Department of Revenue in Columbus, Georgia. And I had about 6 county area.
Mm.
And I dealt with not only with individuals, I dealt with small businesses, corporations, and dealt with all their taxes, either collection or auditing. So I started there basically. Then I went to work.
So, when you do tax audit, what are you auditing?
Okay, we were based at that time. I was
Mhm.
auditing to ensure that their report, that what they're reporting, matches up to whether like their payroll stuff, their payroll information.
So, the
their records.
individual person who filed their taxes.
We did that for the individual. For the
Mhm.
companies and businesses, we do that part.
Okay.
Individuals, we did make sure if there was a flag about some deductions, we have to go out and get verification on that.
Mm-hmm.
On that, there was very few of that, but most of that was what I did was basically did with small businesses and
Okay.
corporations.
Make sure their money was saying the right thing that was on the paperwork that they were filing.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
And then you worked 35 years for the federal government with the Army.
Yeah.
So explain what you did for the Army.
Well, actually, I'm 35 and a half years.
Mhm.
When I left the Georgia Department of Revenue, I went to work for the Department of Army. And this was 1985.
Okay.
And I was on what we call the mobile staff. We went out throughout the southeastern part of the United States, auditing Army installations, National Guard, Reserve units. We did a lot of those, a variety types of audits. And it was more of a team of us that did that.
And now what made that different from the tax audit to the Army audit?
Okay, good question. What it did, because we dealt mostly, taxes were mainly focused on taxes.
Mm-hmm.
The other part of auditing was focused on not only just the financial reporting, but compliance.
Okay.
There's compliance things.
Explain that to the people.
Internal controls.
Okay.
Compliance where you complied with, at that time, Army regulations, different things. Internal controls. Basically, that was basically my thing is later on in my career, making sure all the checks and balances are there.
Okay.
Segregation of duties,
that everybody was running their operation like they were supposed to.
Right, the fox not watching the hen house, those kind of things, and basically protecting the, and we were there not only as stewards for the taxpayer space to make sure that tax dollars are spent right. I did that throughout all my career, and I only did it with the Army for 2 years, and then I left there and moved back home back in 87 and worked for the Department of Navy here.
Okay,
and
that's my branch.
I know, and he told me, and I was over. I ran a sort of an internal audit IG type of office there. I was in charge of several different programs.
So one of the things you did that you were a command evaluator. What was your duties for that?
As a command evaluator here at basically at Kings Bay here at home, we did look at programs, looking for making sure that they are in compliance with Navy regulation, those kinds of things. I also ran what we call the Management Internal Control Program, basically to make sure that controls are in place in those specific areas. And in the position I sat in, I reported directly to the commanding officer.
Okay.
Matter of fact, all my job was like that. I was like a staff, and I crossed all organizational line, and basically provided that independent assessment to the commanding officers.
So you worked in depth with the Department of the Navy. Also, other than the command evaluator, you were also the inspector. Yeah. So what was your duties as an inspector?
Well, it was sort of like in that area, in the office, we did some of everything. When I left the Navy Department, Kings Bay, then of course, prior to that, I went to work for the VA in Austin, Texas, as an auditor, a systems auditor. Then I came back to the Navy.
Okay,
And
you like that audit job?
Yeah, and it was in my blood. And then and I went to the working for the Navy in Orlando, Florida. So I did 3 years there, and that was when I really took on most like a inspector general job, doing the same type of running the same kind of programs that I normally do.
Okay.
Manage internal control, program reviews, those kinds of things. And we did all of that there. I was there 3 years. Then I came to Jacksonville, took a job at Mayport Navy Station. I ran the IG office there for 3 years. And after that, I got an opportunity to take the Deputy Inspector General's job in Naples, Italy.
Wow.
For the Sixth Fleet.
Now, what is that position consist of?
And it's all those jobs, basically the same thing.
But different titles.
Well, right. I was Deputy Inspector General, and basically what I did there, I did more investigations, fraud, waste, and abuse, administrative types.
Like the current government is doing, fraud, waste, and abuse.
Well,
you found
I can write a book on my whole career of misuse and mismanagement of taxpayer dollars. I can write an entire volume of stuff, and but that job, and then not only that I did in investigations, I did. I ran all the programs. I ran about 3 or 4 different programs, and then program reviews. So I was there about a year and a half in Italy. Then I got an opportunity to work at the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain in the Middle East. So I was a Deputy Inspector General there for about 3 years, basically running the same programs under the Inspector General's office. And all these jobs, basically, I reported to either a 3-star admiral, 06, someone a 1-star, 2-star. So
the officers of the command.
We were basically I was more set up like a staff position. Basically, gave them independent, and that's what I've been doing most of my career. So. And I left there and came back and worked at. I retired in 2021.
Do you miss it?
I missed the paycheck.
And you missed the travel?
The travel was good. I missed the travel.
So when you worked and traveled these different places, who picked your next station? You or the companies that you worked for?
No. I picked where I want to go. And basically. I had a good thing about it. Now, Wilson, when I left Italy and went to Bahrain, I didn't even interview for the job. I was name select because the work that I had done in the Sixth Fleet, the Inspector General shared that with the guy in the Fifth Fleet.
And it spoke for itself.
And he stole me, as a matter of fact. And they gave me an offer, better opportunity, so I left. And then and now you just applied. I applied for where I know where I wanted to go, and then I applied for a position working at what is the Navy Engineering Logistics activity at Joint Base Anacostia, where I actually retired.
And so after you left working for the federal government, you became an adjunct professor?
Well, no, I was an adjunct professor. See, I'm a workaholic. and I was, when I was working for the VA in Austin, Texas, I was an adjunct professor at 2 universities, Concordia University, I taught in the School of Business while I was working for the VA part-time, and also Houston-Tillotson University, HBCU. So I work in the School of Business there. As an adjunct professor.
So who was counting all these paychecks with all these different jobs you had? You couldn't do that and work.
Who was counting them?
Yeah.
Oh, me. I was counting them. But it was not necessarily just about the money.
Right,
It was
but the
just
job.
the job and experience, because as an adjunct professor,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to inspire black and white students
Mm-hmm.
for a career, what they want to do, and
Mm-hmm.
work with them.
So let's talk about the Joseph Group.
Okay.
What you do as senior consultant, taxes, and everything. So
Okay.
after you're working for the federal government for 35 years,
Right.
when did you say, I want my own business and this is what I'm going to do?
Well, you got to understand, I've been running my own business since 1988. AJ's Accounting and Tax Service. So I've been working full-time job
Wow.
paying the bills, and running my own tax business. I had accounting. I had a few monthly accounts, and I had a good business. I got people that have been with me for over 35 years that I've been doing their taxes, and I thank them for that. And so I've been doing. So I always had two jobs.
Right, I
And,
see.
and this is something that I see. The visionary part of me
Mm-hmm.
is where I was always planning for work, my life or career after the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
And so you take all of those experiences and things you got. So I was still doing the taxes. Then I started, Joseph Business Consulting basically is where I wanted to go out and get my own consulting firm to use those skills that I did in working for the Department of Defense and Navy, Army, and all of those, and hopefully get in and provide that service to either a subcontractor that has a contract with a government, or get a contract myself, so I can bring in folks to work.
Right. So what type of business what do you consult people on?
I do a lot of small businesses that come in nonprofits. Those are clients of mine.
To start up their business?
To start up their business. I do loan packages under the Joseph Group. So I got three businesses. I got three businesses under the Joseph Group. I have the AJ's Accounting and Tax Service, which I've been operating for about over 40 years. Then the Joseph Business Consultant probably started in like 2018, and from that, what I basically do is I do loan packages. I do 501c3 packages for organizations. I've done workshops and stuff to help try to inspire businesses to do to get going and provide information there. And then I have Ham J Investments, which is my real estate development corporation. Getting into commercial rental, which you see in this building here.
Okay,
and
so you rent rental spaces.
I got rental spaces here. So if anybody want a nice, affordable office space, I got it here.
Did you hear that?
At downtown Kingsland, and affordable, some great amenities. And I also want to get into affordable housing. Those are kind of things. Those are needs for the community and things. And so yeah.
So when did you get time to become an author? You wrote a book.
Okay.
Creative Entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Yes.
That was, and like I tell a lot of folks, authors ask me that same question. Your book is in your head. It's already up there. If you trying to do it's up here, you just got to put it on paper. And instead, put it in your laptop.
Or speak it into that nowadays.
Exactly. And that's what I wanted to do. So I had this idea for years. So in 2011, I decided to go ahead and write it and get it done. I took a long week. I took a weekend off, start that Thursday. It was like the Thursday sometime in October before the holiday. And I worked that Thursday all the way through that Monday. And I locked myself up in my condo in Orlando. So didn't do anything and finished that book.
Okay.
A week prior to that, I started, I was traveling and I was in the airport. And I started right then, wrote the first two chapters on my laptop, waiting on I had a 2-hour delay. And so I started there, and it started flowing. And like I tell folks, once you get in there, you know what you want. You got your outline. You want to do some things. You want, and then it starts flowing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did. I started doing that. I wanted to cover a lot of areas, and I'll pay homage to my grandfathers and my great grandfathers.
Mm-hmm.
My great grandfather and my grandfathers, those entrepreneurs in my book, that I dedicate that to them.
Mm.
And in the book itself, basically, I talk about a lot of things. It's I call it a tool, work tool, a
Mm-hmm.
tool that can help, a blueprint to help
I let you
small
see
and
it.
creative. I'm gonna give you one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So is there a second? Do you have another book up there in your head?
yeah, I do. Actually, I got three other books that I want to write. I do want to do one. I had an opportunity. I served on the National Board of Directors, national CFOs of some organizations. I serve on other boards, and boards with not just with churches and different organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to write a book on good uh, 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 governance, board
Mm.
governance, so people can understand what their fiduciary responsibilities of being
Mm.
on a board, regardless whether it's
Mm.
a church, whether it's a corporation, or whatever. Their
And
fiduciary, and then not just there for just to say they look good and important, but you have fiduciary responsibilities, and if you, especially nonprofit and even a church, responsibility to the public, to your members, and that's what I want to write a book addressing that, folks on that. That's the second book.
and write clearly about the conflicts of interest.
Absolutely. Oh, that's going to definitely be.
Accountability and the conflicts
That's
of
well,
interest.
you just told a lot of my drivers exactly it's going to be accountability.
Yeah, because
And
a lot of people do a lot of things on boards that's a
that's correct.
conflict of interest, but if you don't know it, they're not going to tell
They're
you.
not going to tell you. And the
Mm-hmm.
responsibility reporting is another. How you reporting certain things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the third book is going to be one. It's going to be a spinoff from my first book,
Okay.
and it's called "Doing Business Across the Tracks." And
Okay.
what that book is going to be, it's going to focus on, based on whatever your ethnic background, your culture, you need to know how to collaborate and sell your business and your products
Mm.
across all
Ooh.
function. Uh,
Oh, we need to do another conversation
yeah,
on that. That's real
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. And I use my example. When I started my business, I say about 50% of my clients were white,
Right.
and now it's good. It's almost just a little bit more. We're maybe 60 white, black, and 40 white clients are Asian, Hispanic. So we have to be able to do business across. I say that's across the tracks I'm talking
So
about.
when you say that
Mhm.
you have to learn how to explain, convey your business across the tracks to other race and culture. So give me an example of, because they may not understand how we do business
Hmm.
and how they do business. So can you give me an example of how you
Hmm.
explain your business to another
To
culture,
know.
race?
And first of all, and I always made a statement. I'm gonna preface that the answer to this. When I talk to small businesses, first of all, majority of people really don't care what color your skin is.
Mm-hmm.
All they want to know, if you know what you're talking about, you can provide them a good service and an affordable price.
And what can they benefit
And
from
what
it?
can they benefit from that?
Mm-hmm.
Because 98% of my business come from referrals.
Okay.
And I have clients that for us the Middle East, Europe, California, New York,
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia. I had one in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
South Florida. So,
Mm-hmm.
and they come from referrals, from clients,
Mm-hmm.
and basically doing that and providing the service,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what what kind of business you're in. You crossing the tracks, if you keep them same values of providing quality service at a full price, and people need to feel comfortable if you know what you're talking about.
They don't need to be rushed out. They need to be like this one-on-one, and
customer
they're their
service
own
thing.
person in the room.
Right, and you got to be available.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm crazy, but all my clients have my cell phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And I get calls late at night and stuff like that, during
Mm-hmm.
weekends and things, and that because I work a lot, almost every day.
Mm-hmm. So what time do you? Because you have all these jobs within jobs within
And
jobs.
community service.
So what time do you start your day and end your day?
Well, right now, since I've been retired,
Okay.
my first appointments, my clock goes off at 7 o'clock every morning.
Mm-hmm.
I may come in the office 9:30 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
My first appointment is not until 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I work up to I work all night basically at times,
Mm-hmm.
and usually I'm here to about 6, and now if I got appointments later,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here at 10, 11, 12,
Mm-hmm.
12 o'clock sometimes.
Where's your
During tax
downtime?
season. My downtime is I rest, and then I work hard and I play hard too. I like to take me some time off for me, and I do that.
Okay.
I do that, and it's all of this comes. Everybody actually says, "Why are you doing all this? You involved in the 100 Black Men of South Georgia? You're in your fraternity. You're doing with some other organization, NAACP.
I'm familiar with the 100 Black Men in Brunswick, and
well, I'm one in Southeast Georgia,
Okay.
which is kind of black share and all that. Matter of fact, and so how you take time to do that? And I'm saying, well, it's basically time management. You set your time management, and you can do all of those. And it's not you do it because I feed off that all that inspired me, those relationships when I'm out there trying to work with these little mentees. That inspires me when I do all that work with when I'm working with organizations trying to make things better for our community.
Do you get a lot of millennials learning how to do businesses or for the next generation?
I've got not a lot. But I've had some come in, and some, if they will listen, and that's the problem.
Yes.
And in this unfortunate that a lot of social media drives them, but having them come down and sit down and talk to people who have been in business for years, and I've done that. I've sat down and talked with someone who's been in business 40, 50 years. I observed them, ask them, what did you do? Where you go here? I do that. And there's so many things that they're not aware of. And our millennials and all this, our young people got some brilliant ideas, very creative ideas.
Visionaries. Yes.
Visionary, some creative, and I'm impressed with that. But how you can't just take that and just run with it. You got to understand certain. You got to understand all the legalities about it. How you going to be structured? Okay, all the responsibilities you got to your state, to your federal governments, all those kinds of things. How you going to keep up your record keeping? All of those things. They got the idea of doing it, but that part they need a little help in. And that's where I see. I had some brilliant ideas, folks. But I think that.
So you're so we get ready. This conversation is almost over. So you're here in Kingsland. What's your favorite football team?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, you had to say that. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Okay.
All my life.
Okay.
And I've got, of course, and in this order, Pittsburgh Steelers at number one, and then of course, I got to give a little between the Jaguars and the Falcons.
Okay.
State. Other than that, I like Philadelphia.
Okay.
I'm a big Philadelphia fan. I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of Baltimore, Denver,
Ravens. Okay.
Denver
Nuggets.
No,
the football.
The Broncos. Yeah,
right.
I like them. They're playing tough. And in Houston. So I like a lot of those teams, but the Steelers, I'm mostly been with them for years.
Yeah.
Well, way before Mike Tomlin. I'm talking about the days.
Okay.
Me and Joe Green and all those guys back in the days.
Okay.
Well, Mike Tomlin's doing a great job. But so I am Steelers fan #1,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, and you got to look at the Jaguars and Falcons probably. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
tied for #2. And, well, let me back up. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
probably #2, and Steelers.
Okay.
I mean, then you're looking at Jaguars and Atlanta #3 in that order.
So, with all that you do and have done, what's next for you besides those books and work?
Oh, wow. What's next for me
Mm-hmm.
basically is to, I want to really build my consulting business up and my real estate development corporation. Basically, get those built up and let them basically run really by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to be probably taking me a vacation every month
Yeah.
to the Bahamas, to
Okay.
Caribbean, or whatever.
Okay.
Just relax a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more. Right now, I'm fired up. I do things, but I just
Mm-hmm.
want to kind of relax. And I like traveling.
Okay. I have 2 questions left for you. The first one is, I love our Black history.
Yes.
And when we first met, you mentioned in our conversation earlier, you met some of your grandparents or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they were descendants
Right.
of slaves.
Right.
And so, can you tell us a little bit?
Sure.
Since everyone wants to eliminate our history, we have to keep it alive.
Right.
And whenever we can fill in some little nuggets
Right.
of who our people are or where they came from and what they have done, I like to hear about
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And like I stated, and I dedicated them to my grandfather, great grandfather, grandfather. My great grandfather, like I mentioned, Jacob Joseph, was actually born in slavery in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And he grew up. He bought his freedom, can't move here,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically started a business where he did not only farming, and he did sold turpentine, and he invented, and he's not didn't invent it, but he had what this thing called a dipping well, where basically people would bring their livestock from North Florida and South in this county to sanitize their livestock, the feed
Mm.
stuff. So he did that. That was his business. And when we go out, and I'm gonna show you the mirror that I have on my building of him.
Okay.
He's sitting on a cart, but he had an ox, and he was bringing his crops to the market. And guess where the marketplace was? Right here with this building that I bought.
No.
Right here.
That's special.
Downtown Kingsland, Main Street
Mm.
here was where he would bring his crops, and this was the marketplace here.
So is this area back in the days majority where the African Americans lived? No.
No.
Okay.
All of these. This was a bank, old bank.
Mm-hmm.
You had a market, supermarket, grocery stores. No black ministers at all
Mm.
here. A majority of blacks live across the tracks.
Okay.
Where I grew up at. It's
Okay.
across the tracks, and
Mhm.
so on that one. Then my other two my grandfather, his son, which is my first of all, let me preface. Jacob Joseph married his wife. They married. They had 14 children, 7 girls, 7 boys. And basically what they did is, I guess you need all the kids to help with the farm.
Yes.
So his son, one of his oldest son, is my grandfather, Joe Joseph. He married my grandmother, Katie, that you see on the picture up there.
Mm.
And she's from the north end of the county. And they had 7 girls and 7 boys. And my father was one of those. So he basically did the same thing, the farming, and did all of that, race and stuff. So turpentine and things. Matter of fact, the majority of our family lived on the 100+ acres of land that he kept in the family. He kept me there. So now, and then my other grandfather, Hammond Roberts, who was my mama's father.
Okay.
Basically, he was also an entrepreneur. He ran a general store right there on the corner of 95 and Harris Bluff Road. He was sitting there, and that particular that was downstairs, the general store for that whole Kinlaw community where the other blacks live. And upstairs was the post office, and his wife, Ada Roberts, who's the postmistress, appointed by Roosevelt. So she was like postmistress for that area.
Mm.
So that all of that, like I said, entrepreneurial spirit, and that's been inspired. And we can't never like that's not only family history. It's not only Black history. It's American. It's not only Camden County history.
Mm-hmm.
It's American history.
Mm-hmm.
And we got so many examples of people on this area from as far as from Savannah all the way down to this area
Mm-hmm.
that have done great things. There's a tremendous amount of Black history.
Yeah, that's what was my next question
Mhm.
was, where does Kingsland, Georgia fit in as far as Black history,
Okay.
slavery, and things like that?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a very rich Black history here,
Mm-hmm.
and I serve on the board of the Brian Lang Archives, and that's one of the things that we're working with is making sure that our history, Black history,
Mm-hmm.
in this county is being told
Mm-hmm.
and published, and it's going on well.
Okay.
Going on well, working well with that.
So here's my last question.
Okay.
What advice do you have for anyone who's interested in the career and the businesses that you have held and continue to serve in the community?
Wow. I would say, first of all, you have to be very, you have to think about it. It gets a lot of sacrifices, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
plan. First of all, you need to plan. Set your goals, and you have to work your goals. And you have to have the mindset of not just the unselfish mindset of not just there to try to for you to expire and be successful or whatever, but how can you help others in the
Mm-hmm.
community?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the key thing. Um, when I talk to a lot of young entrepreneurs, many think about just the money, and I say forget the money. I say you need to think about the quality of service that you provide to the people, because if you're doing that, the money will come.
Mm-hmm.
It will come.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would think actually and be able to not only business like you're in business, you got to also look at be community focused too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look around
Mm-hmm.
the people that's help support your business. How can you help improve that community
Mm-hmm.
through your business, through your organizations, however you want to do. So I
Okay.
think we got to have focus. You can't just think about self.
Mm-hmm.
And because if you go out and do those things, God's gonna make a way for you, and you're gonna expire, and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna increase and do well. So I think we can't be selfish,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to be willing to make sacrifices.
Yes.
I got to
Yes.
tell everybody, everything, your job, your business, you run a business, is not necessarily 9 to 5.
Right.
And,
Right.
and you may be spending 12, 13 hours.
And if they do what you did, they're not gonna get any sleep.
Well,
They're gonna have to find some sleep.
You got to
somewhere
find some sleep.
in
and
between.
based, like, be honest with you, I get my 6 hours or whatever that I
Okay.
need, whatever I want to do. And you can take a day off to rest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something to get out of town. So you be very flexible
Mm-hmm.
when you want to do that. When you're in business, you can
Mm-hmm.
be very extremely flexible
Mm-hmm.
on that. But still, you got to make sure you got to cover your costs and stuff and all
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah.
So anybody who's interested in the services that Mr. Joseph has to offer, let them know where you're located at.
Okay, I'm located in historic downtown Kingston at 120 South Lee Street, Kingston, Georgia, 31548.
And tell them once again what your services you provide
Okay,
for those who just tuning in.
I have under my Joseph Group, I have 3 businesses. I have my accounting and tax business, AJ's Accounting, where I do the personal corporate tax. I do work taxes for nonprofit organizations and tax consultant. Under my Joseph Business Consulting, where I work with small businesses, basically working helping them get creative, get it started, with nonprofits through the 501c3 established, do accounting, bookkeeping, monthly accounting, bookkeeping. I do a lot of for other corporations and stuff. I do pre-audit work, getting them ready for the annual audits. I do internal control assessments, and then on the Joseph on Ham J Investments, my corporation, we basically we do commercial rental for office space if you need office space here, and then and I'm trying to get into the affordable housing part, so that is desperate need in our community. Trying to make it affordable for folks and families to live. So I'm getting into that slowly.
Okay.
So that's that.
Well, thank you, Mr.
So
Joseph.
thank you, ma'am.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes. And until the next time, stay tuned for another conversation with Invitation to a Conversation. Continue to have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.